If you're slicing it, pulling it, hitting thin or fat shots, what I'm about to show you in this video is going to help you out, because it's all about the magic of the right elbow. Okay, the first part of this magic right elbow in the golf swing I want to show you starts at the setup. So a lot of golfers I see at setup, and I'll get to the down the line position, this right elbow will be pointing straight behind them. So if you're set up with the position of the right elbow pointing straight behind you, what will tend to happen is, as you make your backswing, the elbow will bend as it naturally does from that position, and it will pull the club behind you. There's no alternative, there's nowhere else for it to go. That's the way the elbow bends, and you'll get the club in behind, and very often the club will then come down steep and you'll hit your slices and your pulls. So right from your setup, what I want you to do, this elbow pit, I want it pointing towards the golf ball. So from this angle, I want this elbow pit pointing forward in this direction here towards the golf ball, because what that'll do, that'll make the elbow bend in a more upright fashion like that. Instead of back here behind you, it'll encourage it to bend more like this and get it into a spot where it's pointing more towards the ground in that sort of position there. And from here, you're in a much better spot to then shallow on the way down and get through to impact. And the problem with this is, if you have this elbow pointing behind you at setup, another thing it will tend to do is have your shoulders and your upper body open right from the start. And that'll look something like this. And you probably think there's nothing wrong with this, this looks okay, but if you were to have a look at my shoulders, you'll notice they should be pointing down left of the target line. Now I can't do this by myself matching it up, but I'm pretty sure if I was to draw a line down there, they'll be on a slight angle left. Now, by turning this elbow pit forward, and you'll also notice in this spot here, that you can probably see my lead arm a bit at setup. And if you can see my lead arm, I'm set up very open. So get that elbow pit forward and pull this arm back in towards you. And now mostly both these arms should be covering each other. My shoulders should be a lot squarer. Can't quite see myself, but they should be fairly square. Much better than there. They should be a lot squarer, and from here I can turn and I can get into a fantastic backswing position, making my life easier as I come through in the downswing. Now the magic of this right elbow for me really comes into play in your golf downswing. So as you get the top of your backswing, we've made a good backswing, we've kept that elbow pointing more down towards the ground. I like to feel as this elbow stays more bent in the downswing, but more importantly, I like to feel it like it traces down my rib cage like that. It stays a lot closer to my body, and almost, you probably heard before, you may have heard before about trying to get the right elbow to touch the trail hip or the right hip, somewhere like there. Now watch what happens when I do this. If I can get that trail right elbow to trace down my rib cage and get close to that right hip to here, you'll notice there how shallow that club gets, and from there I can just rotate through to impact with lots of power. So that feel of getting that right elbow, keeping it bent and having it trace down your ribs and get closer to that right hip like there, that is a wonderful spot you can get into. All great players do this, and I'm going to show you one in just a moment exactly how he does it. But if you do the opposite, for example, let's say you're someone that gets up here, what happens if I don't keep that right elbow closer to my body? Well, this is what happens. It gets away from your body, club will come down steeper. Even if you only do it a little bit, club tends to come down steep and you cut across the golf ball. Have a look at this golf swing in slow motion of Cameron Smith, one of the best golfers in the world. As he makes his backswing, notice how his elbow bends more up. And as he gets to the top of this backswing, his elbow is pointing more towards the ground. So he's got that club in a great backswing position. Now, as he starts the downswing, you'll notice that elbow remains fairly bent. and he keeps it nice and close to his rib cage, close to that lower hip as he gets down towards pre-impact, and he doesn't straighten it out until after he's struck the golf ball. Now, another great feel that I find works really well is feel like this right or trail elbow gets lower than the lead one in the downswing, and watch what happens. Now the opposite to that, right elbow getting higher, club comes down steep, but I want you to feel trail elbow gets lower, lower than left. And look what happens. Shallow shaft, then all we've got to do is rotate. So that can be a great feel for you. Quite often on the first tee, I'm waiting to hit my shot. I'm just there practicing, feeling that trail elbow getting lower. It's a great way to shallow out the club and really nail that downswing position and really get it into the slot, which is what you're after. So if you can get that one feel, and I'll show you a drill in just a moment, trail elbow lower than the lead, close to my body, closer to that right hip, and then rotate through. So let's have a look at this drill that I know is going to help you out. A great drill with this right elbow, so you can really nail this in your downswing, is take a club. I want you to turn it round the other way and grip it about halfway down the shaft like this. So you're going to set up to a ball, and as you come in your downswing, I want you to feel like this grip end either points at that ball or just outside it. Watch what happens when you do that. If I come here and I get it pointing at the golf ball, I'm shallowing out that shaft. I'm in that great spot to swing through on that downswing. So that's the feel. That's what I want you. You can even do this as a pre-shot routine if you like. Get to the top of your backswing and just feel like that shaft points more at the golf ball, and that will shallow out your shaft every time. It's that simple. If you're someone that's coming over the top, you'll notice, look where that shaft points, straight down the target line, even left of the target line, steep downswing. But I want you, if you're someone that comes over the top or at least steep, feel the opposite. Feel the opposite there. And that is a wonderful spot for you. And then it's just rotation. That will really improve your golf swing. Now, I've got a video coming up that you need to watch because this talks about how to stop standing up through impact. So if you're someone that suffers from early extension, you come through and you stand up, you're losing power and consistency, this video is going to help you out. So make sure you watch it. I'll see you on it.